But again, that's a little old Jill Scott of the Who Is Jill Scott album, Watching Me, right? All right. I titled it Retrograde because, woosah. Where do I begin, family? I said, I started to play Watching Me because I was just like, is it me? Am I confused? Is it something that's going through me? Is it energies, or are people really watching me? And that's when I thought, I remember that old Jill Scott song. And I was like, I just got to play that. And when she was saying, the same things in the scopes, she got to build her a lead house, because there's so much in the cameras and everyone to track you. Right. She was saying that then. And I know when I was watching Dr. Boyce last night, he was saying that. He was saying, like, he knew he was being watched and on the scope and the radar. Like, he ain't so naive to believe that, anytime anybody speak pro their, an anti-system, they definitely gonna, watch you. So, and I've always been like, not really, I've always been anti this country. Let's just say that. Anti-supremacy and oppression and all the above. So I never really was for, their, success, you know what I mean? Because I knew what it was off of, the oppression of, myself and others just like me, right? So obviously I never was a supporter. So I always was vocal about that, even my teenage years. So, and I always felt like I was even tracked and followed then. But I don't know. It's like so many times where I've noticed things, even in different states, and I took pictures, I posted it out there. I think this person it would be just certain things that they did that would set me off. Like if it was just different things that you had to do, watching me like crazy, because who watches another person, especially a person you don't know, who revolves their whole, livelihood around another individual, who does that. So this is what I be questioning. So, there was times I lived in one place, I did a routine. I always went to this trail. I always did this often, and I'd be there for hours. And then I always went the same way home, always went the same way there. And I'm leaving. This was here in Georgia, a different part, not even Atlanta. And this was like last year, sometime like maybe in the fall around. And I probably like going in like from summer to fall. And I get up early, and I leave and I go to the trail, and I got there like almost 7, but right before I think 7 a.m. it was still kind of dark out. And this is what I'm thinking about last year, right? And there was a person there already, the only person, a car parked at the car. So I just happened to look at the person. I got their license plate, and I seen what they looked like, what they had on, and their clipboard, and I ain't paying no mind. And actually, I didn't even go to that trail. I actually went through the trail just to use it as a bypass to go somewhere else, right? So I do that. So I stayed for hours because it was even bigger than the one I was used to going to. So I didn't come back till like almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So I'm walk back through that trail just to bypass the traffic, because I don't like to always be on the main road, right? So I walk back through that trail, go all the way home. When I go home, and I was actually staying in a extended stay at that time, the same car, license plate, the same guy, same shirt, same clipboard. Happened to be right outside of where I live. And, it was things like that I used to like take pictures of and things like that. And even now, I look at, different places I moved to and things like that. It was one time where I took a picture of a person that I thought was like an agent, and he moved out instantly. Like the next damn day, dude was gone. I was like, whoa. And I had took a picture and posted it on Facebook. And the next day, dude was gone. And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? So I was just wondering. And I know that we're not so naive to believe, like Dr. Boyce even said, we know that we're watched and we're tracked and we're on the radar. And, we can't be so naive to believe that that's not true. I mean, even Sarnetta was even talking about that one time. So when, this time I'm noticing this, this white dude, I've been noticing him. I've been noticing him since he moved in, after me. I've been noticing him. And he makes himself noticeable, and he tries to put on the act that he's just having coffee and tea and reading his newspaper and things like that. But it's weird because every time I come home, he's always outside, always pretending he's on the steps. And it's like he knows my routine. Even when I go up there on Sundays for the spirituality and things, He's already outside sitting on the steps waiting for me to leave, like he's documenting something. And and it doesn't matter what time I leave, what day I leave, what day I come home, what time of day I come home, because it's not routine for me. School just started today. So even coming home from the first day of school, and a lot, this dude is outside, and I'm just like, why does it seem like every time it's like you're watching my schedule, my schedule, my routine, and you don't have a job? Because college is different, but you're home all day, every day, even when I'm, you know what I mean? So, and then why are you always throwing my time? And I said, well, maybe it's just coincident. Maybe you confused. Maybe it's a retro. I don't know. So I said, check it. Usually when I come home and I come in my apartment, I just stay in my apartment. You know what I mean? And I do take care of my business. But this time I was just like, no, I want to make sure that you if you really are waiting for me, because if you just outside and you're having your drink and your coffee and your tea, your paper, you won't go in simply because I'm home. So I came up, and after I shut my door, I thought about it. That one took me like a second, and I walked back out, and I went right back down to the steps to where he was, where his drink was full, and he was gone. He was in his apartment. So I was just like, so you went in after I came home. So, there's just little things that I look at, and I was just questioning, like, I wonder if you should, because I was wondering if I should do like I used to do, last year and years before, where I would take pictures. And I said, I don't think that I'm taking pictures to provoke anything. I said, I think I'm taking pictures for my own protection. Because just like I said, you never know. I don't know if you're an agent, or I don't know if you're extremist, So we got to look at that. Look what just happened in Virginia. And I'm right here in Georgia. And it's not like it's not prevalent in the southern states. So I was like, okay, so you got to look at this. So I was like, you could just be saving yourself, because you just never know what a person could be watching or following you for what. It's not like I'm not psychic to that ability where I would know why. So I was like, so if I just take a picture on the slide, now if I did it like I did before, I would post it on social media. But main reason I did that before is because I was trying to protect my people and other conscious beings, to let them know, hey, come across this person, maybe just take a second look. I'm not saying just be, God, but maybe just take a double look, just to make sure, and be aware, because you just never know. But I'm not saying just automatically, just assume this about the person. But, it's just certain things that they've done that kind of prove me, prove things to me otherwise. So this is why I'm questioning a lot of different things, obviously. So this was just something that I wanted to be, wary on, and then I was just thinking about the retrograde, because so many things are happening at once towards me. And I was just like, I don't know. I was questioning. This is exactly what I was saying. I was saying, girl, is it just you? Like, is it just affecting you? You know what I mean? Because I haven't really heard anybody else really complain about what they've been dealing with. I mean, for me, it's like I'm being attacked from all angles. Energies is just happening like consistently. Everything is just messing up. I was under the impression that my class started tomorrow. I'm so glad that I double checked that last night. I had plans to stay at that spot for 24 hours, but something was in me like, I just can't, I'm just going to go home. And when I did, I double checked, didn't even know that it was today. So I'm glad that I did that. Like, and then I ended up watching this video from Black Magic 363 where the brother was saying that, Aloy Strayhorn, where he was saying, double check everything, your contracts, your money, your business, all that. I was like, I just found out that a package wasn't even delivered. They had it 2 days ago. And I didn't even know this. And I'm expecting they're going to be here. And they said address was undeliverable. Come to find out that the carrier just didn't want to do their job, because we verified the address and everything was correct in regards to my address. So the carrier probably didn't want to walk to the top floor, or maybe he just didn't want to do his job. So she was like, they're going to reprimand that carrier for lying, misleading and saying that. So I was just like, wow, then my internet, I haven't had internet for 2 days. I still don't have internet. I'm actually using the internet from my phone. Hold on, give me 1 second.
You got a dishwasher problem?
Yeah. Give me 1 second, fam. I gotta take care of this. Yes. The dishwasher, it runs, but the dial won't move.
Okay.
So you can run it forever and it still won't
Shut off?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll see what I figure out.
All right, thank you. All right, sorry, family. That my dishwasher's on the blink too. So, and that hasn't worked for like I don't even know how many days. So, where like it'll work, but the like turn, So that's why I was like, is this retrograde? Because it's like so many things that's happening to me at once. The internet, like I said, is still out. And I'm using the mobile, hotspot. So, and I'm like, I definitely need this for class, for school, so many things online that got to be taken care of. So I was just like, I haven't heard nobody saying that they've been dealing with so much. It's been a lot coming from so many different angles, so many different people. And I was just like, is this retrograde? Certain things is not popping on, certain like contracts, certain things that they were saying, certain appointments and stuff is just not, it's not flowing. It's like so many things that's like counteracting me right now. And I was just like, one thing after another, like real talk. And every time I turn around, that's all I've been seeing is like one thing after another, attacking me from different angles. So that's why I was like, girl, I'm thinking that, what everybody's saying with this whole Mercury retrograde and stuff like that is really having an effect, really having an effect on, just us in general, so I was just like, people been just talking about, giving us the details on or just the definition of it and telling us how to be better prepared or better equipped, or they was giving us information on just what's to come, in regards to dealing with it. And when you do deal with it and certain things that, it's been, that you're going to, encounter and combat, and certain things that you just got to continue to watch over and double check. And then when I was talking to my family, they were saying that they were actually, they actually seen that on the news. They said he was watching the news and people was telling them, beware, things just not, going to pan out the way, and you got to, keep checking over certain things, and you might not get certain things that you were expecting and whatnot. So that's what I'm just starting to realize, and I was just like, well, why nobody else been talking about anything that hasn't been, affect them or going according to plan, or something that has just been, maybe they had to go over and check, or something that's not. See, spoke too soon, because I've been having problems with this mobile hotspot too with the internet. So that's why I just went out. So that's why I was just like, what is going on? And I know they said it was going to mess with your phone, your internet. My phone been messing up. Like, it's just been nonstop, especially with the electronics. Non-stop. And then outside, and the people and the traffic and the attitudes and things that you're combating, and the schedules and the non-stop, like the appointments going awry. Like, I'm like, what is, like, I was like, I think this is the work. I mean, I think before I even knew really about Mercury retrograde, or really like the details, or really actually trying to, apply certain things in regards to myself and actually follow it and figure out how to better prepare for it. I think before than that, I don't think I ever paid it any mind. I don't think I've ever saw anything that was different. It just seemed like all chaos to me, and that's daily, But it's like now I'm like, what's up? Like, I'm actually trying to work on being peaceful and higher frequency and higher elevation, and all this is just happening. I'm like, what is this deliberately? Like, is this intentional? Or all this is just happening consistently, like one after another, and it just keeps happening, and it's just like one thing after another, so many coming at one time. Like, I don't know how to combat it. And I'm just like, what is going on? So I was just like questioning, like, is anybody else going through this? Is this just me? Is it only affecting me? Is the universe and the ancestors really just trying to test me? I just don't understand, because, usually I would just be like, oh, like screaming and losing it, because it's just so much happening at one time. Maybe if it was just like maybe one thing or whatever, but it's all happening at once, one thing after another. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know. And this is just the start. This just happened. It just went into retrograde on August 12th. Like, we got how long it is? So that's why I was just like, oh gosh, like if this is it, And I was trying to listen to what the brother was saying on the YouTube earlier, because what he was trying to show you on things that you could be doing and certain things that you can apply. And think I like first thing I woke up, even before I went to school, first day, I meditated. I was like, girl, before you get there, because I was like, you're gonna be dealing with a lot. And it's going to be a lot, coming your way. And I was like, you just never know. And it was, even in class and everything that it was telling us that we got to look forward to and everything that's ahead of us. I was just like, wow, and it was just busy. And I was just like, why did school have to start when the Mercury retrograde had to start? Like, really? So I was like, it's just really like a true testament right now. And tell me, why one professor, she is so church, like she is so like Christian. Oh my God, church. She's in there talking about the study guide that we're going to be using. She's like, that's just going to be your Bible. And I'm just like, lady, how do you just believe because it's predominantly that all of us just follow Christianity? So I was just like, I don't even think that you should be even talking about, but she was saying different things in regards to praise the Lord. And then people it was all bless you and all that. And I was just like, oh God, I'm going to be in church now. Or like, so I'm not even going to just be in school, but I'm going to be in church. I was like, oh Lord. And I was like, so I got to deal. So I was like, this is just like a worse time right now, because if this is just now getting started, and like I said, there's so many things that just happen in the daily life and the struggle I'm still trying to work on, like trying to fight all this, and it's just so much. So I was like, God, I'm just hoping like I'm not alone, like it's just not attacking me or whatever. But I haven't really seen anybody else say anything. But in regards to what they were talking about with like appointments and business and like contracts and electronics, I have experienced all of that. So I'm just working family right now, but I just want to put out there, like I had a title like retrograde, dealing with stalkers and followers and all kind of stuff. So I don't know if everybody's just on the ride, everybody's just crazy right now, and their energies are just chaotic. I don't know, and we're just kind of taking it out on each other, because I even see that on the road, even when I'm just taking like a lift. I'm noticing even from the back seat, so, and different people. And I was just like, I don't even think they even really get into, astrology and all that. So they probably don't even really take the time. But I was shocked to hear from my family. They said they was talking about it on the news. And I was just like, oh, because I don't usually turn on TV. But to hear that, so that's why I was just like, oh, this is so much. It's so much. And I'm just like, I don't know, because it's so much to the point where I'm just trying to go back to the days where I never noticed it. Or if I did, it just felt like it was just like any other day. Or maybe because I was in a low frequency, I didn't really care, because it's just like, okay, if you're already in a low frequency, I don't even think you really notice anything that it can be struggling, for you or whatever. Because you're just like, oh, I'm used to struggling. I'm used to dealing with it, or anything that can be just really, things where it could be like detrimental to you or whatever. And I don't even think, a lot of people notice that. So, but now that I'm actually seeking, higher elevation, I think that I'm really noticing that now, so, weird. I got the guy trying to come out here now. I think he said he was just here the other day. He see nothing wrong with the internet. So that's why I was like, okay, is it just attacking me? Is it just doing to me? So I was like, man, I just want to come on here and do a quick video and be like, man, retrograde is in full effect, and I am definitely experiencing every bit of it. So, I guess I'm gonna just end it on that note, like, fam, that everything that everybody's saying is powerful. And now we got this solar eclipse coming up, and I've heard so many different things. Some people had actually said, like, initially, when they first, people put it out there, so many people were saying that it was going to be positive, and you want to watch it, you want to get out there and absorb the energy, you want to be grounded, and all the above. But when I just came from that meditation, session, this past Sunday, I met a brother who was telling me it wasn't, saying that if they really looked deep into history, they would have saw that anytime this ever happened, maybe like a week later, all this negativity came out of it. War came out of it, destruction came out of it, and he was like, death came out of it. It was worse. He was like, it's so much because whatever that meteor or whatever is hitting, he said it brings demonic, it brings low frequency, it brings dark energy. I said, so if I absorb it, what would happen? He said, you will reap all that dark energy and you will be negative and you will put all that out there. He said, and you will maybe even commit murder, like death, and all this going to come out after the fact. And ever since I listened to that brother, now I've seen more videos coming out, kind of knocking it a little bit, and on YouTube, and saying that, it's not really as positive as they want to claim that it is, and it's going to be really dark, and we're going to deal with it effectively. So I told him, I said, well, how do I combat it? He said, just stay happy, and he was like, you used to smiling, right? You know how to smile. And I just laughed, and he was like, right there, keep that internal happiness, not just the smile on your face, but the internal, because you keep that positive energy and you keep that filling up your chi and your aura. So, and being like doing a meditation and finding that peace, he was like completely just staying there and not dealing with it, not taking it on, not going outside. I said, isn't it still going to affect us anyway? And he was like, oh, it's still going to have effect just in, the universe and the air, and definitely on individuals, whatever, but you can work on, he said, a way you can work on having it block your spirit is to work on things like that. So I am definitely, getting into practicing that, every day, even regardless of, prior, because he was like practicing 2 days prior, heavily, and 2 days afterwards. But I was like, we should be doing this just every day. So I'm just trying to focus on the fact that it was just like a bad moment, or it was just upsetting at that moment, because even so much stuff happened today, and it was just like, one thing after another, and that's how I felt about like the whole retrograde and all the energies and things like that. So when it was just happening one thing after another, it was just like, so much, and then still trying to, find that peace, and that balance, and still be, positive, or at least, at peace here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to evoke that smile like the brother was telling me, because I'm, worried about everything that's coming. I mean, if we just got a taste of this Mercury retrograde, maybe this is why it's so bad, because I'm trying to figure out where it ever, I'm trying to figure out the one that came earlier this year.